So, yes, we have seen so far a few objects from the Messier catalog. We have seen M77, M74, M33, M31, M32, M110, and we have been experiencing a few clouds here and there, and this is the latest image of M74. This badly taken image from the collection of tonight. We have these images here. We have M77, which is this small dot here, and another big star or galaxy here at the edge. So we have this one, and we also have M33, which is this patch here. Of course, you can see all sorts of dust speckles on the sensor, which is perfectly normal for telescopes. M31, which is a real beauty. It's the biggest galaxy that you can see. Well, not this image. This was problematic due to clouds, but this one, this bit here is M33. Not very nice because of the clouds. And we also have M74. Here, this bit. So M32 and M110 come with the M31 package. If you see M31, you see M32 and M110. Now, there is a lot of nebulosity around. We are going to have 2 hours of clear sky around 10 p.m. for about 2 hours. We have managed to see something. I'll show you from last week's sessions the differences. So right now we've been able to see a few fuzzy patches where we should have seen a lot of details, but from a Messier Marathon perspective, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you see a lot of details or if you see just a nebulosity. It's important to see the object, because if you have a smaller telescope, you won't see as many details as if you have a big one. So I'm just going to show you a few shots from a week ago of the same objects that we have seen so far tonight. You can see here M74. You can see the spiral structure of this galaxy. Among the first ones recognized to have a spiral nebulosity. It was called a nebula before Hubble discovered that they're actually galaxies. So this was from last week. We've seen it today. I've showed you an image with a fuzzy patch there. Um, the first object, M77, these are taken in a particular order. This order was defined by Dan Mechels in his book, and I'm just following that list for observing it. So here you can see some galaxies, M77, and another one. This is an NGC, New General Catalog galaxy. It's on the edge. The other one is like this, and that NGC object is like this. You can see it's probably a satellite that you see in this image, probably a Starlink. There are lots of Starlinks polluting images. M33, which tonight was barely visible as a fuzzy patch. Last week, when we had excellent weather, it looked like this. So you can see the difference between them. It's so beautiful when you have clear skies. You see the vignetting here, the glow. You can remove this and the dust speckles with some flat frames post-processing. M31, it's the real beauty of galaxies. This is what we've seen tonight, and this is what I've seen last week. So we've barely seen the core of the galaxy. It's a big one, and you can see here M110 and M32 here. So beautiful galaxies. And I think I've showed you everything. So we managed to see almost everything. Now we have some nebulosity on where M74 is. Not very good images, as you see. Last week was better, but I only got let's say, a glimpse of several objects, just trying to see that all the equipment works. So yeah, we started at 7:30. Now it's 9, so it's an hour and a half later. There were some issues with the live streaming, and but we did take the pictures to show you that we actually saw the images. And again, thank you for all those that bought us a lot of coffee for tonight. We do need the coffee. And there are people out there around the world taking the Messier Marathon this weekend. Usually take it in the weekends. I will try to do it again on the 6th of April, nonetheless, because I think that if we get a clear night, we'll get some very good images of the objects. Now they're simply blurry patches. Galaxies look like blurry patches. Nebula look like blurry patches. Star clusters are better. So let's go to some star clusters. So we've seen 6 galaxies. Now let's go to Cassiopeia. So this was the region of, this was the area. We've been to Cetus with M77. We've been to Pisces with M74. We've been to Andromeda with its 3 galaxies. And we've been to Triangulum for the Triangulum galaxy. So now let's go a bit up to Cassiopeia and see if we can see something in Cassiopeia. So the next object that we are going to try to C is M52, which is an open cluster, which means that it's a collection of stars close together. It's like the Pleiades, but a bit more hard to see with the naked eye. So we are slewing there at this point, and let's see if we can see something, first of all. Yes, actually quite a lot of stars. And since it's a star cluster, we don't have problem with the nebulosity. All we need to see is the stars. And I will center the telescope first. Well, apparently there are some clouds. There weren't before when I took this guiding image, but they are now. So they basically ruined the our view of the M52 open cluster. So we're just going to loop a bit, see if we do get a clear image. I could say that we've seen the cluster because we've seen the stars in the guide scope, but I don't want to say that. I would like to see it in the main scope. So I'm looping here, just trying to see when it gets clear so that we can see the open cluster. And at 10 p.m. we should have, in about an hour, we should have clear sky. It says mostly clear. At 11 p.m. it says clear, which is excellent for our goals. So we should see the objects that we are going to see, some of them are really faint, so we won't be able to actually see much details, or we'll barely see them if we don't have clear skies. So at 11 p.m. the forecast says clear, and let's see after midnight what happens. Well, I think we have till about 2 a.m. to see as many objects as we want, because after 2 a.m. the forecast says cloudy or mostly cloudy, which is not good. So we have a window starting at 10 for about 10 hours where we need to rush through as many objects as we can. We won't be able to see them all because some of them have yet to rise. Some of them rise before sunrise, or 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning. So we won't be able to see those objects. So probably we are going to have to retry this marathon on the 6th of April. But nonetheless, let's have a look. So M52, let's see where that is. We still have time before it sets, so that shouldn't be an issue. Let's try for the other one, M103, which is nearby, so I really don't believe that we'll see it. If there's clouds here, probably there are clouds in the other area as well. I can show you an image of M53 from last week. Let's see if I didn't get to image more than 10 objects. I don't remember if this was one of them. M52, this one. Yes. Just to have an idea how it looks. As I said, we've seen it in the auto guider, in the guide scope, but look at it, how beautiful it is when you actually see it in the main scope. It's amazing. And you see here, this is a nebula here, down here, and you see some beautiful stars, and it's an amazing star cluster. All right. So I think we are on track. Let's see if we have some clear skies. Barely. We do have some stars here, but it's really awful. It's really awful. We have about an hour till we get that 2-hour window for seeing as many as we can. So let's not waste any more time in Cassiopeia. M52 and M103. Let me show you M103 as well. From last week. Again, really beautiful. Look at this. It's amazing. So we are going to M76. I don't remember what light 001 and 002 and 3 are. I think they're from tonight. Yes, these are some images from tonight's session. Let's see. Yeah, they've been taken tonight. So I'm just going to move these. And M74 as well. I'm going to move them in the folder for tonight's session. All right. So let's go to M76, the Little Dumbbell Quark or Butterfly Planetary Nebula in Perseus. This is a very small nebula, which, given the circumstances and the nebulosity, it's going to be really hard to detect. But nonetheless, let's go there. Let's go to Perseus. We need to go to Perseus anyways because we have an open cluster there as well. So let's see the open cluster first, M34, and then we go back to M76. Slewing to the target destination. Yeah, we have some nice clear sky in the area. Perseus. Let's solve, center, take a picture, acknowledge that we've seen it, and move to the nebula. You can see the star cluster already here in the image. You see this congregation of stars in the center. This is the star cluster. Open star clusters are young, and you have another type, the globular clusters, which are old clusters. Let's try it again. We really need to be center. Yeah, we are, and I will guide. We've got some nebulosity here, which is all right, and let's take a shot, a 3-minute exposure, and see what we get. We've seen it in the main scope already. This is it. So we can check it, and tick the box, and then we are going to go to M76, the Little Dumbbell Nebula. It's called the Little Dumbbell because there is the Dumbbell Nebula, M27, which we'll see as well tonight. Or not, depending on how the weather is. Maybe we'll get to see it before 2 a.m., but I'm not sure. It's under the horizon right now, so it needs to rise to the east. Then we are going to go to Taurus, to Lepus, the rabbit, Orion. We're going to see three deep sky objects in Orion, and then we're going to go to Taurus again, and then to Gemini, Auriga, Canis Major, Puppis, the small dog. It's basically, this is the area of the sky that we are going to explore, because this is already to southwest here, so it's going to set. So we are focusing on this region here that's setting. So basically what we are doing, we are always focusing on this area here and occasionally going north to see the objects that are going to set first. And while we see these, the sky rotates and more objects here rise to the east and move south and then towards the southwest or west, and they set, and that's where we're going to see them. So this is the approach, basically. This is what Dan Mechholz and others have said it's the best approach to see this. Aborted. Yeah, I can imagine why this was aborted, because we had an issue with the guiding because of nebulosity. So the nebulosities are a problem, but we have seen M74 in the main guide in the main camera short exposure, so we can actually zoom in a bit. You can see the star cluster here. Right. I was trying to get a longer exposure, but unfortunately, as you can see, we have again clouds messing around with our exposures. This is where the advantage of taking the Messier Marathon using automated tools can be seen. If you are out just with your scope and not using any software or go to mount, you won't be able to see these objects in time because you won't have any stars as references to star hop to get to the objects because of the clouds. So since I don't care about the clouds because I have a software that does my plate solving for me, as long as I see some stars, well, that's it. I'll see the object. So we are now at the M76. If I said a different number, apologies. It's M70. Sorry, no, it's M34, the open cluster in Perseus. We are going to go back to M76, the little dumbbell, after this one. So we missed two objects so far. We missed M52 and M103 in Cassiopeia because of clouds. I will go back after we see the little dumbbell. I will go back to Cassiopeia to see those two open clusters. Because apparently we have some clear sky. So at 10 o'clock, we have 2 hours of clear sky forecasted. So about a minute and a half for the star cluster. In the meantime, let me show you where we are. So we are in Perseus M34. Here, this is where we are. So as you can see, we are focusing on objects that are about to set. So this is the important thing here. And as objects set, new ones take their place because the Earth rotates, so the stars rotate themselves. So we are always focusing on this region here. We are imaging them, they set, new ones appear, we image them, they set again, and that's how it happens, basically. So we still have two objects in Cassiopeia that, due to bad weather, were not visible. And 23 more seconds for the star cluster. Some of these images appear moved, and this one may also appear moved as well because of errors in the guiding. So we have this issue with the clouds. So sometimes the guider doesn't have enough stars and it has some problems. And there it is. Look at it. It's so beautiful. I really like this. It has so many stars in it. So it's a clear patch of sky there. It's amazing. This is the star cluster here. Let me make it bigger. And let's zoom in a bit. right? So these young stars here are patched together, and the one that we all know is the Pleiades, M45, which we'll also see. All right, so now let's go to the little dumbbell, M70, M76. It's nearby. Apparently we have a clear patch of sky there, so let's little dumbbell because we have a dumbbell nebula as well, which is the M27 dumbbell nebula in Cygnus, the Swan, which we'll see in the morning. Um, so we are on the coordinates. So now let's try and center. Yeah, it is working. It takes about 2 or 3 images to center. Sometimes it fails because of clouds. See here, this image is moved. We are on track now, so we are going to guide. And you can see the stars, it's clear. And I will take a 3-minute exposure of this. So this is actually, it's the new general catalog, but this is M76. It has different names in different catalogs. The little dumbbell, it looks like a dumbbell. So for those of you going to gym, it looks like a dumbbell. You know, it has lobes. It's squeezed in the middle, and it has 2 lobes, which are due to the expansion of the supernova. So these are basically nebulas formed after stars exploded. So because they exploded, they ejected a lot of material in space, which gives this dumbbell shape, like 2 cones going away from the center where the star was. And we also have a remnant of the star in the center, which can be a white dwarf or some other type of star. And the type of nebula kind of says what star you have in there. It's called a planetary nebula. It doesn't have anything to do with planets. It's just how it's called. And the Messier catalog has only 4 planetary nebulas. This is the first that we are seeing, and we are going to see M27, the dumbbell nebula, and we are also going to see 2 more nebulas, which are also planetary. But there are many types of such nebulas. So this one will not be a big object like the star cluster. It's a small nebula that's the remains of a star, so it's not going to be that impressive, but the mere fact that we are seeing this and we know it's a planetary nebula, when we look at that, it's impressive because it's one of the objects that come out of after stars explode or die. So let's actually see M76. This is how it looks like with professional telescopes, right? So you can see the dumbbell shape. It's a bit squeezed in the middle, and it has 2 lobes. extending outwards. They're because of the explosion of the star. So we are going to see this as a fuzzy. It's going to look like this maybe. So you'll see a lot of stars and you'll see a small fuzzy patch in the middle. So this was moved. Unfortunately, we need to retake this again. Do we still have stars? We still have stars. Okay. You can see the errors here. It's because of the guiding has difficulties because of all this nebulosity, all these clouds guiding properly. So we are going to take this again. This time it won't be moved. It won't look moved. So let me show you how it looked a week back. If I go in the previous week session, I stopped at 10 objects then. So I have the M76 here. And you can see a meteor. I actually caught a meteor in the frame. You can see here this bit here. This was a meteor, small meteor in the atmosphere. And you can see some stars. This is a big star here. And you can see the nebula in the center. So you can see the nebulosity in the center of the image. Here. So this is the nebula. This is how it looks on a clear night with no clouds. Tonight we have clouds. So we'll see something, but it won't look like this. So one more minute to see this one. This is a very small object. Not as big as Andromeda or M33 or M42 in Orion. We'll see the Orion Nebula. That's going to be impressive. The Orion Nebula, we'll see its. So we are going back to Cassiopeia to see the two star clusters which we missed because of clouds, and then we are going to Taurus to see the Pleiades, which are amazing, and then we go to in Lepus, the rabbit, to see the globular cluster, and then we are going to see the Great Orion Nebula M42. That's an amazing bit of deep sky, and it comes together with M43. There are two objects together. So this is our object for tonight. This patch here is the nebula. So this patch here is the nebula. This is due to clouds. It's not that clearly visible. The dark spots are dust speckles. It happens on all telescopes, and the vignetting effect, this glow that you can see, is also due to the equipment, the lenses, and they're all removed at post-processing using flat frames. All right, so let's get back. So we've seen this one. Let's go back to M52. It's nearby. And let's see if we can actually see something. Let's try and capture it a little bit. You can see some stars here. It's not that good, actually. We still have nebulosities. In our first attempt, there were no stars visible. I do have the concern is that we won't be able to guide. So if we cannot guide, the problem is that we won't get a clear image. So we do have some stars here visible. It can guide, hopefully. Let's try it. It is guiding. So now we are going to see M52. M52 is a star cluster in Cassiopeia. This one. And I showed it previously on our first attempt. I showed the image from last week. So it's really nice. It's compact. It's more compact than the previous one, M34. So it's closer to, let's say, a globular cluster, but it's not a globular cluster. But it's also interesting as an example. So we have two objects here, M52, and the other one is the M110. That's the second open cluster. So let's have a glimpse at M110. Sorry, 103. So this is what it looks in Stellarium. We are going to have a look at it in through the telescope. One more minute to image this. It should be in the center. So the star cluster should be dead center here. Because of the way we are guiding. So this is just the process that we are following tonight. I point the telescope somewhere to a deep sky Messier object, and then I am centering it using capture and solve. So basically this uses tries based on the stars in the image to find where the telescope is pointing, and then it centers the object in the image. You can see here in green the error of the alignment, 13 arc seconds. And once I do this, I go to guide, and I'm guiding. So basically, I'm keeping the image because the star rotates, the sky rotates. I need to keep the telescope centered in on the object. So this is what guiding does. So here is the object. Look at this cluster here. It looks nice. You can see you can see the cluster among others. You can see this bit here. This is the star cluster, and you can see it's different from other areas in the image. It's because these stars here are packed together, normally young stars. Open clusters are usually formed of young stars, not like globular clusters, which are old populations of stars. And you can see all the other stars here in the image. So we've got this one successfully imaged, and we are going to go to M103. This one, and slewing there, you see the telescope moving. I was planning to install a camera inside the observatory so we can see the telescope slewing around and all that, but to be honest, I wasn't sure we were going to manage to image anything tonight because of the nebulosity and the cloudiness. So let's see if we can get M103 out of this. Yes, we do have stars, as you can see here. There are stars in the image. So just let's let the telescope center. Does have some issues solving this one. I wonder if we have some clear sky. We do have some clear sky. Let's see if we can guide. Yep, we can guide. So why do we have this issue here with the yes, we are on track. It fails sometimes. It's software. It's not always 100% reliable. So you need to try again till you manage to focus. So I'm going to guide now. And usually you want lower exposure times for guiding. I was using 2.5 seconds because of the clouds. But now, since we don't have any clouds here, I can lower it to maybe 1.5 even. Let's see if it still finds the stars. Yes, it finds stars. So I will now add this to the list and let's image it. So the M103, I'm not sure I imaged this one last week because I stopped at some point. Let's see if I do have it. So last week's session M103. No, I don't. Yes, I do have it. So this is M103. If I do an auto stretch, you see the beautiful cluster. You see these three stars. These are visible even in our case when we plate solved it. So this is the cluster in the center. This is from last week, and we will see something similar tonight. But of course, it depends um, on the. If we get a similar image tonight, it depends on the nebulosity. Aborted for some reason. Yes, you do have some nebulosities here, so let's try to increase this to 2.5 and guide again. These stars here are actually the cluster. So at this point, we can safely say that we have seen the cluster. With longer exposure times, we can actually see more stars. So if you look here, this bit here in the center is the star cluster. So we can say that we've seen it safely. Again, when you do the Messier Marathon, it's not about the quality, it's about seeing the object. If you have a big scope, you can see lots of details that you cannot normally see with a smaller scope. But that doesn't invalidate smaller scopes from observing the object. It's important to observe the object. So we have the object. We don't have an image of the object, but that's not important. We have seen the object, and we can move to the next one. There are clouds here, there are no stars anymore. So we were really lucky that we managed to actually see the object. Even if we didn't get a nice image of it, we have it from last week, and we also have it here. So let's move to the to M45, the Pleiades. This is a nice object in Taurus. It's known from ancient times. People have written stories around it, and it's one of the most famous objects on the night sky. Seven Sisters, the chicken and the hen. It's an amazing object to be seen. Many people confuse it with the Little Dipper because it looks like Little Dipper. It's like a mini Little Dipper, but it's not. It's in a different constellation whatsoever. So let's see if we can actually see something in Taurus. Nothing. Taurus is completely in clouds. Yeah, nothing whatsoever. We don't have not even one star. So what we can do now is go to, so this was the only object in Taurus. We can still see it later. We can come back to it. Here are the Pleiades. They're still up. But I want to go to Lepus here and try to see M79 next. M79, which is so low, it's in my trees. I'm not sure I'll be able to see this. So this is actually a view from the observatory. You can see some trees here, and basically it's right in the trees. So we cannot do anything about this. I could try. Let's try and see if we can get something from it. Maybe we're lucky and we'll see through the branches because it's still winter. They haven't come back to life yet. So M76 79. Sorry. It's slewing towards the target. This is an open. It's a globular cluster, and it's more compact. It looks like a sphere. It's a densely packed sphere of stars. Hundreds, thousands of stars packed within a few light years. It's really crowded in there. Right. So let's see if we can. I'm going to use the guiding scope to capture an image and see where we are. You can see the branches. These are the branches of the trees. So we are definitely looking at that. Let's try to see if we can solve something in the trees. You can see some branches here as well. No, nothing. There is no way we can get this. So unfortunately, this one is out of our range, and it's because it's in the trees. I mean, it's little that we can do. It's so low on the horizon, and these trees block it, so there is nothing you can do with it. Last week, I did see this when it was a bit higher, but this week, because we have these clouds, I kept going back and forth between objects, and I missed the window. Basically, there is a window here in this area where you have Canis Major, where this object is higher, and you can actually see it between the tree branches, and I do have an image with it from last week. So if you go to last week's session M79, or I don't. 76, 341. Yeah, no, I didn't catch this one. Yeah, it was another object that was in the trees, and that I imagined, imaged. Sorry, I'm imagining things at this time of night. So M79 is a miss, and also the M45 in Taurus. We need to remember that and go back. So let's go to M42 in Orion. It's here. I'm just trying to see if I can identify it. It doesn't select the object, so let's just do it like this. And yeah, let's pick a star in the area. It's a big nebula. Hopefully we don't have clouds in that area. This is a really beautiful object. So let's see if we get any stars. Nope, it's covered. Nothing. Let's have a look at the forecast again. and see if something has changed. Hmm. Well, it says 10 p.m. clear skies. There are still 10 minutes till 10 p.m. So, and clear skies at 11 p.m., which is amazing. I mean, if we do get this, yeah, unfortunately, it's again, we've got, oh, well, not that. We do have stars in the area. I think I have a problem with the auto guider, with the guide scope. As a matter of fact, I think it has built up some condensation on the lenses, which means that stars are now not that clear. Um, or we just have clouds. The main scope has a dew heater, so it prevents any condensation to form on the lens. So there aren't any issues with this scope here, but there are definitely clouds. You see, it's we just have a few stars here, and the ones that were in the center just disappeared. So there are clouds in the area. And now we don't have any more clouds. There's any more stars, sorry. So yeah, some clouds in the area, which is a pity. So M42, M43, then we have M78, which is also in Orion, and M1 in Taurus, and then we have a bunch of globular clusters. All right, so in the meantime, I will be taking a break for a few minutes. So I'll be back in about at 10 sharp. All right. Okay, so we are back here at the Starscape Observatories. Unfortunately, uh, just checked the sky and it's fully covered, at least for the moment. The forecast does say that at 10 p.m. we will have clear skies and the weather, the satellite imagery does seem to indicate that we are now on top of the thick clouds. Well, the thick clouds are on top of us, more precisely. And once that's over, we should be able to continue with our marathon. So far, let me see if we can count the number of objects that we've seen from 7:30 p.m. so far. So we have M77, M74, M33, M31, M32, M110, M52, M103, M76, M34. So 10 objects so far. We have tried M79 in Lepus, the rabbit. It was behind the tree branches. No way we can see that unless we get some clear skies and some miracle between the branches. We won't see that for sure. M45. We are trying to. We have tried. That was the last object that we tried imaging. Without any success. So we are in Taurus right now, and then we are going to go to MM42. We tried that as well. No luck because of the clouds. There is no star visible on the sky at this moment. After we visit Orion and Taurus, we have 2 objects in Taurus and 3 objects in Orion. 2 come together, M42 and M43. We will be heading towards a series of open clusters. And then some galaxies, the Leo constellation, Gemini, open clusters, some nice galaxies in Leo, and then Ursa Majoris with some galaxies as well. Still have a lot of objects to go. We've seen 10 objects so far. The weather is not cooperating. So if we get better weather on 6th of April, we are going to retake this marathon because you've seen in the images that I've presented from last week's prep session that clear sky makes a difference and you can see lots of details. With nebulosity around, you barely see in galaxies and nebulas, you barely see some fuzzy patches. which is not that impressive. Fortunately, there's still a lot of nebulosity around, especially in Orion. So not much going on. We still have to wait a bit. It's still covered. So looking at the forecast, we are still under the thick clouds, and I think it will be another 15 to 30 minutes till we get uh, clear. So we have to wait a little longer. All right, so we do have a bit of chance here. Unfortunately, we cannot guide. The scope doesn't see anything, but the main scope does see these two stars that form the Great Orion Nebula, which are gone again. It was just a brief moment, which is now gone. So we did see M42, but M42 is really impressive in an image, and I really would like to capture that. So just gonna have to wait some more. See here the nebula. I could try to take a snapshot of this. Oh, that's nice. See, it seems that we have some clear skies. Let's quickly try to guide. Well, we cannot guide, but we can surely take an image. So, Orion Nebula. The Orion Nebula is really something to be seen. It's an impressive nebula, M42, and it comes packed with M42, M43. These are also visible with the naked eye as fuzzy patches marking the sword um, of Orion, the hunter. Also sometimes identified with Hercules. So at this point, I'm imaging without tracking. One more minute. Seven more minutes, seconds. It's good it's not minutes. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is the Orion Nebula. Not one of its best pictures. I'll actually show you one from last week's session just to have a comparison. Oh, I don't have one. That's or maybe I misnamed this one. No, this is the open star cluster in Canis Major. Yeah, I don't have an image from last session last week here. That's all right. We were lucky with this one, so we managed to get M42. And M42 gets, it always comes together with M43. Let me just show you. You see M43 is this little bit here, and this one is M42. And the next object on the list is M78. This is interesting because it's visible as through a telescope. Is usually visible as two stars surrounded by a fuzzy patch, which is why it's also called Casper the Friendly Ghost. It's like fuzzy eyes, ghostly eyes. So let's go there and see if we can see anything. There is something around here, but not enough for the solver to actually get a solution. Well, apparently it was able to get one. It actually fixed everything on, we are centered on the object, and we can guide, and we can also take an image. So M78 now. Aborted. We've got clear skies, more or less. Sometimes it gets aborted. Just try again. So M79 is a no-go, and we also need to go back to M45 in Taurus. Yep, we've got some clouds messing up with our exposure. Not much we can do. I'm just looping here, live streaming from the guide scope, trying to see when we have enough stars. They come and go. M1 is going to be a real challenge. M1 is the Crab Nebula. This is the nebula that caused the supernova that was visible and recorded by ancient Chinese in the 11th century. And it was visible in Europe as well. It was visible for many weeks. Even in daytime, it was like a second sun. So it was really an amazing phenomenon, and many people believe Betelgeuse in Orion will have the same fate. To be honest, I don't want it to explode right now because Orion looks amazing just as it is. Once the Betelgeuse explodes, it will never be the same again as a constellation. It's nearing its life, and maybe in a few thousands of years, it will explode. I just hope it won't happen while I am still alive. Yeah, so we are not in luck here, but I am still going to try to expose without the guiding here. So let's see what happens. Let's see the forecast again. Almost, we are almost free of the clouds, the thick clouds. So we're still having issues with the clouds so far. Once we are out of the cloud area, we're making it sound like we are in a starship, right, flying through clouds, when in fact it's the other way around. Clouds are moving around us. We are going to try to see the Crab Nebula M1 and then go back to Taurus M45. And then head for the open clusters in Auriga, Gemini, Puppis, Monoceros, Hydra, M44 Precipice in Cancer. So yes, this is the Ghost Nebula. You see these eyes like a ghost, Casper. This is the M78 Nebula. So we've checked this one, and now let's go to the Pleiades. Let's go back to the Pleiades. M45. And I will go to this is an amazing tour de force of the night sky. We're almost at 20 objects seen, and we've been live streaming for an hour and 40 minutes almost, plus an hour and a half before that. Um, so we have around 3 hours and almost 20 objects. See how difficult it is to get the whole 110 in one night, but we would have seen more. However, the weather is not playing nice today. So I will be redoing this on the 6th of April again because I really want to get some extraordinary, amazing images of each object for my collection and for you guys to see. So we are at the Pleiades. Let's see if we get anything. Not really. Pleiades is here. Nothing new on Pleiades. And if we cannot see Pleiades, we definitely cannot see the Crab Nebula. Sorry, I need more coffee. Still no luck. All right, so we are going to go on a small break again till we get some better images. Okay, so we are back after a short break, mostly due to clouds, but apparently we're still not off, and the forecast is a little bit off as usual. I think in about 10 minutes we should be all right, following by about an hour of clear skies where hopefully we can get about 10 objects, 3 minutes each, with double takes. So let us see if things have improved. We still have clouds here, you can see them moving, but there are some openings in the clouds, like this one here, where sometimes you can see a star or two, but not enough to actually make a difference. As you can see, nothing on the main camera. So we've seen 14 objects, if I'm not mistaken, from the Messier catalog, which is not bad. Could have been more. Probably we could have been at 20 plus, but the weather is not playing nice. So definitely there will be a rematch on the 6th of April if weather allows us. So we are trying to image Pleiades at this point, and then we are going to go here on the tip of one of the horns of this bull to see M1. I'm not even going to attempt doing that until we get a clear view of M45. The reason being it's lower on the horizon, and on the clouds the front comes from the west. So when it starts clearing, this will be among the first one that will be visible. All the rest of the sky is fully covered at this moment. Let's have a look at some statistics from this night. Some problems with the guiding as expected due to bad weather. It will start clearing at some point. It is a real challenge to see all 110 objects. And now you can see why it is difficult. You need to find the objects, you need to have a clear sky, you need to have patience, you need to be able to stay up all night. So there are so many factors in play. So I will be taking another break until it clears up a little bit. Okay, so it seems that clouds are dissipating. As you can see from this live stream, we have a lot of stars in the area. So we can resume. We are now imaging the Pleiades star cluster. And there it is. Let's take a snapshot of M45. We also have it here as a nice image. You see here it's upside down actually. So you can see the stars, the various stars of the cluster, the seven sisters and other stars. This has been used in many legends and folk tales and myths around the world have had the Pleiades as a key focus. Checking a bit the settings. One more minute and we'll have a nice image of the Pleiades. So it seems that the sky is clearing somehow, which means that we will be able to resume our observations at least for a while. It is 11 o'clock and after about an hour of cloudy skies, we have a chance to resume. Just a few more seconds. And 2, 1, 0. And here it is, the Pleiades star cluster. All key seven are here. All right, let's go to the next one. So let's go to M1 in Taurus. Which is nearby. Let's see if we can see it. All right. Let's try to guide. Nice clear sky here. Should be able to guide. And let's take an image. M1, the remnant of the supernova that was visible in China 1,000 years ago. It's another type of nebula, the supernova remnant. And the Orion Nebula as well was another type of nebula. It was a diffuse nebula. Also partly an emission nebula. So there are many, many types of nebulas. So we are here, Crab Nebula. This is what it looks like in processed images, long exposure times. In our case, it will look differently. And we have a nice clear sky as well, which is great. About an hour to capture as many as we can. And 20 more seconds. I will be trying, especially for the star clusters, we don't need 3 minutes of exposure time. I'm going to lower the exposure time to about 30 seconds for the star clusters. It should be enough. And here it is, right in the middle, but the image is highly moved, so I will redo it. The next objects will be open clusters in Gemini, Auriga, Canis Majoris, Puppis, Monoceros, Hydra. So I will be heading towards M41 first after this one, M41, because it's behind the branches. So there are a few, see here, these clusters, they are low clusters, and we need to be very careful observing them because they are at low altitude and they are behind the branches. And just a few seconds to see the Crab Nebula. The supernova exploded 1,000 years ago and was visible in broad daylight and was recorded by the Chinese astronomers. And also possibly in the southwest of the United States in Chaco Canyon. But we cannot be sure about that one. Nice, look at this, gorgeous. You can clearly see the nebula here. It's amazing. All right, let's go to the next one, M41. And we are slewing and almost there. You can see here how many objects we have. This is the Milky Way, so this is plenty of our galaxy. It's full of deep sky objects. Most of them are concentrated along the Milky Way. So there is no need for that much M41. I didn't even track center, sorry. Let's take another one and we'll see the M41. And I do have M41 here as well for comparison from the last week's session. Here it is. Beautiful. Look at this. Again, branches. This white patches here are branches. So you can see the star cluster here. It's wonderful. You're not able to see it at this point. Fortunately, it's behind the branches. So we need to move to other ones. Let's go to M35 in Gemini. Another open cluster. So we missed some low horizon objects. Like M79 in Lepus, the rabbit, and M41 in Canis Majoris. But you can see here, this is a nice image of M35 in Gemini. See the cluster here, really nice. And we are going to image it right now. Just 30 seconds for this one. And there it is. Beautiful. A bit moved, but otherwise healthy. Let's take another one. Beautiful. Another one, a smaller one here, an NGC probably. Beautiful. Okay. Next one, M37, also in Riga this time. We are changing constellations, but nearby. Then M36, then M38, and then we are moving to puppies or some other deep sky objects. And you can see it here, really nice. It looks gorgeous. Let's take a snapshot. M37. In the meantime, you can see it here as this small agglomeration of stars, an open cluster. Beautiful. Wow, it's been so long since I've seen these things. Ugly image. Let's take another one. First one is always ugly. This is why astronomers usually take hundreds of them, especially amateur astronomers who want to do nice image composition. Tracking really nicely. You can reduce it to 1 second even. And here it is, beautiful. Beautiful cluster. Okay. Next one. M36. They're all here packed. This is it. Nice. It's a guide. And let's take some images. Again, 30 seconds for another beautiful open cluster in Auriga. And it's going to be moved again. We are going to have to retake it, but you can see that nice cluster here at the center of the image. So let's take a second one. These clusters are weakly gravitationally bounded, so this means that in the future, in millions of years, they will disperse and no longer form a cluster. It's in contrast to, say, globular clusters, which are old entities and are always will always be like that. M36. Next one, M38. And then we go to puppies. This one, it's in the middle right here. Should have a few stars, even at 1 second exposure time in the auto guider. So now let's go and take an image. This guy. These are really nice images, high quality ones, because we have clear skies at this point. which is amazing. We have a short opportunity and we must take as many images as we can. And we have a lot of star clusters. We are at number 21 in the Messier catalog, and we have open clusters up to number 28. Again, a beautiful cluster in the middle, but the image is moved, so we are going to take another one. And then we have galaxies, then we have a trio, or not a trio, but from 29 till 35. It's just galaxies. That's going to be interesting. Most of them are in Leo, one in Cancer, and three in Ursa Majoris. A smaller one here as well, probably an NGC object. So now we switch from Auriga to puppies in M93. And let's see it. Imagine what we could have seen in the first part of the session where it was mostly clouded and we just couldn't see anything properly, and we needed to see some images from the previous session as comparison to what it could have been. But now it's going really smooth, so we can see lots of objects, which is amazing. And I'm not gonna take an image before centering. Let's see how it looks centered. And this one is in behind the branches, apparently. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. M93. Butterfly cluster. Yep, it's behind. It's behind the branches, which is not optimal. But we do have some higher clusters here, M46, M47. Unfortunately, we also have M96, which sorry, this is a galaxy. No. I was actually, it's a typo on my behalf. It's M93. Oh, it's the same one. Yeah. It's late and I'm a bit tired, so yeah. Let's try again to image this one, see if we can get anything out of it. Oh, nope, it's in the branches. But we do have some other chances, especially if it gets here somewhere. We may have to revisit this one a little bit later. So that's another one that we missed. So you see these low horizon objects cannot be seen from this location. So let's, what was I supposed to do now? Yes, let's go to M47 and M46, these two ones here. M46. Let's see if we can catch both of them at the same time so that we don't need to Is it cloudy again? It is cloudy again. Well, that's a shame. So puppies. Just gonna try to identify the ones that we have missed. So we have missed M79 in Lepus, and we have missed M41 in Canis Majoris, and we have missed M93 in puppies. Three, not bad. Unfortunately, these ones are also not visible at this point. We also need to have a look at one in Monoceras here, and then one in Hydra. Let's go to Hydra actually, and see. We're going to jump through over three objects: M93 in puppies, M47 and 46 in puppies. And also M15 Monoceras, so four objects that we cannot see right now due to weather. I'm going to go to Hydra M48, which is close by. Hopefully we've got better weather there. Let's see. Not really. Let's try to capture and solve. Nope, no chances. We do have one cluster here, the M67. Let's have a look at M67 in Cancer, and then M44, the Precipice Beehive cluster, also in Cancer. So we jumped over positions 22 up till '26. So now we should be, if we have a look here, we should be at this position. GoldenEye cluster. So we are here. We're still. It's not the zenith. I thought it was higher than that, at least close to it. We're still on the ecliptic. All right, let's give it a shot. Nope, unfortunately, we've got bad weather. Yeah, we have clouds again. And it seems that there will be some rain at midnight, so this means, and then mostly cloudy. So this means that we probably need to end this now to avoid any rain inside the observatory. So we did manage to see so far, let's see how many. So we missed 3, and this puts us at 18 objects successfully. And this was not due to anything else except the bad weather that we have tonight. And we need a rematch. And the rematch will be on the 6th of April. Hopefully there will be clear skies then. So there are only 2 times when we can view these objects, around new moon in March and April. So this only leaves about a week, and the forecast for the rest of the week is awful. Hopefully in April it will be better. Let's try to capture again just for the sake of it. Now it's fully covered, which means that I will park the scope and you can actually see it slewing towards its parking position up north, or pointing north. We'll park somewhere around here. And it's parked. Now we can disconnect, stop ECOS, close K-stars. So thank you for watching, those of you that jumped in at certain intervals and watched this attempt for the Messier Marathon. Unfortunately, the weather was not with us today, so this means that we are going to redo this on the 6th of April. So there will be an online event where you can buy me some coffee, and hopefully if we have good weather we'll get some cool images of the objects. Tonight we got to see 18 objects in about 4 hours and a half, which is nowhere near enough. But we had some long breaks due to the weather and the cloudy conditions, and it's about to rain according to the forecast in about 15 minutes. So we need to close the observatory. And thank you for buying me coffee. If you like this, if you want more, like, subscribe,